So we are doing 14.2 and a little bit of 14.3. 14.2 is on transversal and parallel lines. So before we get into what they do and how we're going to use it in this class, what are parallel lines? Lines that never interact, they never intersect, right? They're friends still, but they're just distant. Okay, never mind. So parallel lines are lines that never intersect. Okay. And they are actually as well. So if they never intersect, then they have a couple of things I want to cover. The first trait that I want to cover is that they will have the same slope. Always, always, always have the same slope. Okay. And how we depict that on in a picture like this, right? You guys know that line L and line M are parallel because they will never intersect, right? It's just these little arrows here. Whenever you guys see these arrows on a picture that's given to you, that means that they are parallel, okay? That's the only way you know when you see a picture that they are parallel. They must have these little arrow marks, okay? Not these arrow marks signifying that they are aligned, the blue ones, but these purple ones, okay? All right, and they have the same slope. And how we write that out, if I wanted to say, oh, they are parallel, line L and line M are parallel, I'm gonna have to say line L is parallel, like an 11 or two straight lines going up and down. Line L is parallel to line M. Okay, so this guy here means that they are parallel. Parallel to. Okay? So whenever you see this, that means that it's parallel. Okay? That's just a notation of parallel lines. Okay, so if parallel lines are lines that never intersect, what is a transversal? Transversal is a new word, so I will define it. It's a line that cuts. Cuts just means intersects. Two or more lines. Okay? It's a line that just cuts two or more lines. Okay? In this section, those lines that they cut are going to be parallel. Okay? And your example here in this picture is line P. All right? So the red line here, line T, is your transversal. Okay? And they cut two or more lines. Cool? That's the basics of what a transversal and a parallelogram or parallel lines are. All right? Quite simple. So what are we going to do with this type of picture? Or what if? So what? Yeah. So I drew this picture here, line P and line Q. Notice they are parallel because of these little arrow markings, right? And I can say that line P is parallel to line Q, just like that. And T is my transversal, right? So if T is my transversal, P and Q are my parallel lines. I numbered all of these angles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? There are 3 type of angles that we need to know, okay? The first one is called corresponding angles. Let me back up, put it down like this. The first one is called corresponding angles. Okay? And what I'm gonna do to depict that is I have this little petty paper, right? I'm gonna outline this first one. Okay, so it's like this, just really quick, like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm gonna treat this as one group. All right, and if I take this group of angles, 1, 2, 3, 4, and if I use the transversal like an escalator, and I come down with it, right? Coming down to the 5, 6, 7, 8. What angle corresponds to angle 1? Angle 5, right? Yeah. What angle corresponds to angle 2? Angle 6. What corresponds to angle 3? 7. Angle 4 and angle 8 are also corresponding, right? You guys understand that? That's why they're corresponding angles. So essentially, angle 1 corresponds to angle 5. Angle 6 corresponds, or I should say angle 2. Sorry. Angle 2 corresponds to angle 6. Angle 3 corresponds to angle 7. Angle 4 corresponds to angle 8. Okay? So they're in the same position. All right? Make sense? So now, class, if I do this again, right? Angle 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I put it down here, right? To 5, 6, 7, 8, we all know that they are in the same position, right? What do you know about the angles themselves?
Corresponding angles are the same.
Corresponding angles are the same, right? That makes sense? The angle measures are the same. Yeah? Because parallel lines, they have the same slope, right? In this case, the slope is 0, right? Because it's a horizontal line. And this line is the same. Is the same line that makes those angles, correct? Yeah. So just looking at angle 1 and angle 5, essentially angle 1 and angle 5, they're made up of the same lines, right? That have the same slope. So since they are made up of the same lines that have the same slope, corresponding angles are congruent. So I can change this into they're equal. And we learned this symbol last class, right? That they're equal to each other. Okay, so I can put here that corresponding angles are congruent. Make sense? Yeah. Questions on that? No? Okay. Now for the next four. For the next four, there's going to be two descriptive words. Okay. The wording is going to be like this. All right. I'm going to use alternate or same side. Okay. And I'm going to use interior or exterior. Okay. I'm going to choose one word from each. Okay. So there is something called an alternate interior angle. Or there's something called an alternate exterior angle. There's something called same side interior angle, same side exterior angle. Okay. And these words, this group 1 and 2, they mean what I mean by alternate and same side is of the transversal. Okay. They're always going to be alternate or the same side of the transversal. Okay. So let's just practice that right now. Can somebody tell me what alternate sides of the transversal would look like? Give me two angles here. Yeah. 8 and 2 are alternate sides of the transversal, right? One's on the left, one is on the right. Correct? So as long as you pick one from the left and one from the right, yeah, they're alternate. Same side would be, hey, look, it has to be on the same side of this transversal. 2 from the left or 2 from the right. Make sense? Yeah. Interior or exterior, the group number 2, it means of the parallel lines. Okay? Of the parallel line. So interior of the parallel lines would be 6 and 3, 4 and 5, right? 3, 4, 5, 6 would be the inside of these parallel lines. That makes sense? You think of these guys as buns, right? Of your hamburger or your cheeseburger, right? 3, 4, 5, 6 would be on the inside, right? Would be the meat that you eat, right? And exterior would mean on the outside. So 1, 2, 7, or 8. Does that make sense? Yeah. So with these different combinations of words, there are 4 different types of angles. Okay? Cool? Let's define them and let's define their relationship. Okay. So the first, that's number 1. Number 2, I'm going to use alternate interior angles. Okay? And since alternate, you don't know this yet, but I'll tell you, alternate interior no, let's just use this. Okay, alternate interior angles. All right. What are alternate interior angles then? Angle 3 and angle 5. What else? 6 and 4, right? Angle 4 and angle 6. They're on alternate sides of the transversal and they're on the inside of the parallel lines, right? I'm gonna give you a second. Define that relationship. The relationship that alternate interior angles have is they are congruent. Okay? So I can also draw this, right? Okay, alternate interior angles are always going to be congruent. All right? So picking another set of words here, I'm gonna just finish out alternate exterior angles. Okay, so alternating sides of the transversal exterior angles. What are alternate exterior angles then? Angles 1 and 7. And angle 2 and angle 8. Right? I know. Angle 1 and angle 7 and angle 2 and angle 8 because they are on alternate sides of the transversal and they're on the outside of the parallel lines, right? Okay. And notice that I didn't even make this clear, but you guys are doing it anyway. We are treating 1, 2, 3, 4 as one group and 5, 6, 7, 8 as the other group. Okay, so we're picking one from the first group, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're picking the other from 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. So those are alternate exterior angles. And I already told you that they are congruent because why are they congruent? So why are alternate exterior angles congruent? Well, because you know that angle 1 is congruent to angle 5 because they are corresponding angles, and corresponding angles are congruent. The real definition would be if two lines are cut, or if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, corresponding angles are congruent. And then the next one would be angle 5 is congruent to angle 7 because vertical angles are congruent. Now, since angle 1 is congruent to angle 5 is congruent to angle 7, I can say angle 1 is going to be congruent to angle 7 because of the transitive property. Okay? So this is the beginning of your proofs. All right? So I can say that they are congruent now. Yeah. The next type of angle that we're going to cover, right, if we look at our list, same side of the transversal and interior of the parallel lines. So same side interior is number 4. Okay. So tell me, what are same side interior angles? Angle 3 and angle 6 and angle 4 and angle 5, right? Okay. Angle 3 and angle 6 and angle 4 and angle 5. Okay. All right. Same activity. Angle 3 and angle 6 or angle 4 and angle 5. Tell me the relationship. The relationship that same side interior angles have is they are supplementary. So, okay. So I can say angle 3 plus angle 6, measure of angle 3 and plus measure of angle 6 equals 180, along with measure of angle 4 plus measure of angle 5 equals 180. Okay? And the fifth and final one, put it on here. Okay, the fifth and final one is going to be same side, exterior angles. Okay? Again, they are on the same side of the transversal, but this time they're on the outside of my parallel line, right? What are they? Measure of angle 1 plus measure of angle 8 equals 180 because they're also supplementary. Measure of angle 2 plus measure of angle 7 equals 180, right? And how we prove that, class, is like this. So they are supplementary. Okay. And how we go about proving it would be, look, angle 1 and angle 4 are, yeah, angle 1 and angle 4 are linear pairs, right? So I can say measure of angle 1 plus measure of angle 4 equals 180 because of linear pairs, right? Oops, you guys can't see that. Okay. And then I can say angle 4 and angle 8 are congruent, right? Because they're corresponding angles. CBT just means cut by transversal. Okay. Then corresponding angles are congruent. Okay. Then I can put angle 8 here and say measure of angle 1 plus measure of angle 8 equals 180. This, the reason why I can do this is what property did I just use? Substitution. Okay. I just substituted the angle 8 for angle 4 here. Right? So now I can say angle 1 plus angle 8 equals 180. Okay? All right. So those are the 5 different types of angles. Okay, that we have. Now we're going to use this, all right, to, we're going to kind of elevate it. Use this idea. I'm going to elevate it like this. Okay, this is the next picture. I have 2 sets of parallel lines. Okay? I have 2 sets of parallel lines. So take a second to write this out. Okay? Make sure all the numbers are correct. And then I want you guys to list out all 5 type of angles. Okay. So what I want you guys to do is list out all 5 of these. Okay. There's going to be a lot. All right. So try it out. Work with one another.